She sent me a message. I'm crashing at my ex's tonight. You can show me you're not the jealous type by being totally fine with it. I wrote back, do whatever you feel you have to. Then I looked up her ex's wife, rang her, and asked if she was aware that my fiancé was sleeping over at their place. Somehow the call turned into a three-way the moment the wife patched him in. I'm not going to pretend I regret it. Yeah, I'm proud of it, but apparently these posts require a sprinkle of fake modesty first. So there you go. 6 weeks ago, I, 36M, was still engaged to Stephanie, 34F, the woman I'd been with for 2 years. Past tense intentional. We shared a nice apartment in Chicago, state matters later for recording laws, split every bill 50-50, and I genuinely believed we had a healthy, adult relationship. I'm an architect focused on eco-friendly commercial projects. She's a digital marketing director at a decent-sized firm. No children, just one extremely opinionated cat named Maurice who never fully recognized my authority in his kingdom. We met at a friend's apartment warming, clicked over our shared disgust for hazy IPAs, and for the most part coasted along without major drama. On our 2-year anniversary, I proposed. We were set to get married next summer at her parents' lake house in Wisconsin. Life felt stable, predictable, maybe even a little dull. Then came the text. I was in Denver for a 3-day industry conference. Basically a bunch of architects nerding out over mass timber and arguing whether Frank Gehry is a genius or just trolling everyone. Second night, I was brushing my teeth when my phone lit up at 11:37 p.m. Hey babe. Bumped into Jason at Murphy's. We started talking. It's late, so I'm just going to stay at his place instead of getting an Uber. Show me you're secure and cool with it. Okay? Love you. Jason equals her ex from roughly 4 years earlier. They had dated for 3 years until she got tired of bankrolling his professional gamer lifestyle, his phrase, or chronic unemployment, her phrase. I had met the guy exactly twice. First time, a mutual friend's birthday where he cornered people to brag about his crypto bags. Second time, he happened to show up at our regular bar, inserted himself into our date, and spent the night dropping heavy hints about their wild weekend in Montreal while staring me down. What Stephanie forgot to mention in her message was that Jason had been married for about a year to a woman named Claire. I only knew this because I'd seen the destination wedding photos when a friend went to Mexico for AITA, so let me sum up. My fiancée was announcing she was sleeping over at her married ex's apartment and framing it as a loyalty test for me. I stared at the screen for a good 5 minutes. My brain ran through the standard options. Blow up her phone, catch the red eye home, whatever. Then a weird, icy clarity settled in. The kind you only get when the mask finally slips. I typed, do whatever you feel you have to. We'll talk when I'm back tomorrow. Then I did something I'll defend until my dying day. I found Jason on social media, located Claire's profile, and saw her real estate business page with a giant call or text anytime number. It was 9:58 p.m. Mountain Time, 10:58 p.m. in Chicago. Colorado is one-party consent for recordings, so I wasn't worried about the law. Hello? She answered, bright and professional. Even late at night, she picks up for potential clients. Hi, is this Claire? Jason's wife. Yes. Who's this? You don't know me. My name is Alex. I'm engaged to Stephanie Weber, Jason's ex, I believe. Long pause. Yes, I know who Stephanie is. I'm really sorry to call so late, but Stephanie just texted me saying she's staying at your place tonight. I wanted to make sure you knew and were okay with it. Dead silence. Claire, I'm here, she said, voice suddenly thin. And no, I did not know. I'm actually in Iowa visiting my sister. Jason told me he was watching the game with the guys. I see. I'm sorry to be the one. Don't be sorry. Thank you. Hang on 1 second. I'm adding Jason to this call so we can all get on the same page. Before I could answer, I heard her say, "Hey Siri, call my husband." What followed was pure chaos magic. She merged the calls without muting herself first, so Jason picked up blind. "Babe, thought you were doing wine night with Jess." Loud bar noise and music in the background. "I am," Claire answered, calm as ice. "Quick question. Is Stephanie Weber at our apartment right now?" Dead air. Then Jason, trying to sound confused. "What? No. Why would she be? I'm at Tommy's watching the Bulls." I decided to be helpful. "Hey Jason, Alex here, Stephanie's fiancé. She texted me 20 minutes ago saying she's crashing at your place tonight." The background noise instantly dropped. He must have stepped outside or into a bathroom. "What the hell? Who is this?" he hissed. "Alex, we've met. You explained Ethereum to me twice. And Claire's here too," I added. Claire jumped in. "On speaker with Alex, who was kind enough to check if I was comfortable with my husband's ex sleeping over while I'm out of town, which I'm not." Jason started tripping over himself. "This is a misunderstanding. Steph and I just had one drink. She went home." Claire cut him off. "Funny, because if Tommy suddenly developed a cat that Stephanie's allergic to, and the whole watch party moved to our cat-free apartment, and every single friend vanished, that would explain why Alex heard you're alone with her." Long, defeated exhale from Jason. "Claire, it's not." "Put her on," Claire ordered. Muffled movement, then Stephanie's voice, bewildered. "Hello. Hey Steph, Alex here. You're on a conference call with me, your friend Jason, and his wife Claire. Just keeping everyone in the loop about tonight's arrangements." "Alex, are you serious right now? This is exactly the controlling behavior I was talking about." Claire again, deadly calm. "Actually, he was making sure I knew my husband's ex was spending the night in my home without my knowledge. So thank you, Alex." Stephanie squeaked. "Claire, Jason said you guys were fine with staying friends with exes. Friends don't have sleepovers when the wife is 300 miles away, Stephanie." The call turned into a glorious three-ring circus. Jason pleading innocence, Stephanie flip-flopping between scolding me and apologizing to Claire, Claire dropping the occasional unfucking believable, like perfectly timed cymbals. Eventually Claire delivered the kill shot. "Jason, I'm on the first flight home tomorrow. Have your shit in boxes." Click. Stephanie rang me back instantly, furious. "I cannot believe you called his wife. You had zero right to inform a woman her husband is cheating on her. Nothing was going to happen. I was drunk. It was late. Uber surge was insane. There are these revolutionary concepts called other female friends, hotels, or hear me out. Texting your fiancé and asking if he's comfortable instead of daring him to object. I knew you'd act like this. You've always been weird about Jason. His wife didn't even know you were coming over, Stephanie. That didn't set off any alarms for you. She had nothing. We went in circles until she hung up on me. Next morning, I tried to sit through talks about cross-laminated timber, but my brain was in Chicago. By noon, I bailed on the rest of the conference, changed my flight, and called my brother to crash at his place. He answered with, "Say no more. That cat always hated you anyway." When I landed, I had a voicemail from Claire. "Hey Alex, it's Claire. Jason's soon-to-be ex-wife. Just wanted to say thank you. Obviously it sucks, but I'm glad I know. Also, when I got home this morning, I found Stephanie's earring on my nightstand and her makeup bag in my bathroom. Thought you should know. Take care." I drove straight to my brother's, finally replied to Stephanie with one text, I'll swing by tomorrow at 2 p.m. to get my stuff. Please don't be there. She called 5 times. I let it ring. Next day, 2 p.m. sharp, I walked in. Of course she was there. Maurice observed the whole thing from the top of the fridge like a furry judge. She followed me room to room. Apologies, excuses, accusations, tears, the full playbook. It wasn't what you think. If you loved me, you'd forgive one mistake. You violated my privacy. You've never trusted me around Jason. I packed in silence. Silence seemed to bother her more than arguing. When I was done, she physically blocked the door. You're really ending 2 years over one stupid night? I looked her in the eye. You announced your plan to sleep at another man's apartment, called it a test of my insecurity, and forgot to mention his wife was out of town. And now that same wife found your earrings in her bedroom. So tell me again, what part am I misinterpreting? No, answered. I set my keys on the counter, gave Maurice one last chin scratch, he allowed it with royal indifference, and left. Aftermath was predictable. Friends picking teams, awkward family calls canceling the wedding, Stephanie rewriting history to anyone who'd listen, controlling fiancé, overreaction, one little mistake, etc. 2 weeks later, I met my buddy Mike for drinks. Turns out he'd been at Murphy's that night. He told me Stephanie and Jason had been meeting there once or twice a week for at least a month, always tucked in the dark corner booth downstairs. He never said anything because exes can be friends, right? Until I filled him in. 3 months later, I had a new apartment, was drowning myself in work, and had even gone on a couple of low-stakes dates. Life was leveling out. Then an email from Claire Johnson. Subject: thought you should see this. Attached: screenshots of texts between Jason and Stephanie from 5 months earlier, when Stephanie and I were still blissfully planning our wedding. Jason: still good for tomorrow? C is at her mom's all weekend. Stephanie: absolutely. I has that work thing, so perfect timing. Same routine. Jason: yep. Bringing the thing we discussed. Stephanie: can't wait. Claire's note. Found these on the shared iPad during divorce discovery. There are dozens more going back almost a year. You didn't overreact. Hope you're healing. I wrote back, thank you. You deserve better. 2.2 days later, she invited me for coffee. No expectations. Just 2 people who survived the same cheaters. 1 coffee turned into 3 hours. We laughed, actually laughed, at the identical excuses we'd both been fed. It felt good to talk to someone who got it on a cellular level. We didn't swap numbers that day. Too soon. 2 movie of the week. But a month later, we accidentally kept running into each other at bookstores, markets, etc. By the 3rd not-so-accidental bump, we admitted we were stalking each other's routines and finally exchanged digits. We've been seeing each other 2 months now. Slow, careful, both of us still in therapy working through the baggage. But there's something grounding about being with someone who knows exactly where your scars are and refuses to press on them. Last week, Stephanie texted me out of nowhere. Heard you're dating Claire now. Kinda sad. The 2 betrayed partners clinging to each other. Thought you were above that. I showed Claire. She laughed and dictated my reply. Actually, we bonded over our impeccable taste in partners and our temporarily terrible judgment. Working on the second part. Hope you and Jason are thriving. Instant response: we're not together. He's dating some 22-year-old now. We left her on read, ordered Thai, opened a bottle of Malbec, and toasted to the bizarre, brutal, beautiful detours that sometimes drop you exactly where you were meant to be. Maurice still hates me. That hasn't changed. He stayed with Stephanie, and honestly, they're perfect for each other. TLDR. Fiancée announced she was sleeping at her married ex's place as a test of my jealousy. I phoned the wife to check if she was cool with it. She wasn't. Wife merged the call. Both relationships exploded simultaneously. Turns out the affair had been running for nearly a year. The wife and I are now dating each other. The universe has a sense of humor. Edit. Yes, people really are that bold when they think their lies have gone undetected for months. She assumed I'd roll over like I always had. Edit 2. Wedding deposits were minimal and mostly refundable, thank God. Ring was my grandmother's. Biggest financial hit was eating 2 months' rent to break the lease, worth every penny. Edit 3. Maurice remains with Stephanie. No, I'm not staging a cat heist despite some very creative suggestions. He's chipped to her and always loved her more anyway. They can keep each other.